was going to say good morning, everyone. Well, if you're listening, they're not going to hear me.
Good morning, Miss Crew.
Yes. Well, if you're listening in the morning, good morning. If you're listening in the afternoon, good afternoon. And if you're listening in the evening, good evening. We've covered all bases there.
We have. If you're listening mid-morning, good mid-morning.
Good mid-morning. Okay. I've got, two conversations I want to bring before we get going on this week's episode. Firstly, I was talking about this on my personal Instagram story a few weeks ago, but wanted to just see what the people of the podcast think. You probably saw my conversation about having multiple drinks on the go.
Oh, yes, yeah.
So I am a person who likes to have a few drinks on the go at once, but the drinks are for different purposes.
Right.
So I gave the example on that day of I'd had a pint of water because that's like for hydration purposes. I had a cup of orange juice for flavour purposes. And then I had a tea so basically imagine I've just made my lunch, feeling a bit dehydrated, water's on the go. Orange juice I like to have with the meal. And then I like to have the tea ready for post lunch vibes.
Right.
Like you've got a sweet treat, that's the finisher.
But why do they all need to be there? Like, could you not just make... Do you know what I mean? Like you drink one, then lunch comes around, you have the orange juice with lunch, and then you make the tea.
Because I think sometimes, okay, so like another example, let's say it's afternoon in the office.
Yeah.
I'll often have like a juice and a tea because one is like I'm thirsty, but then the other one, like the tea more so is just for like afternoon vibes in the office.
Right, yeah.
And a lot of people were, I feel like it kind of split the audience. People were either like, you're odd. Why are you doing that?
Yeah,
that's
odd
weird.
Man.
Or people were like, oh my gosh, yes. I had people sending me pictures of like, this is me right now in the office and they've got like 3 cups.
Wow.
Someone was like, oh, I love the combination of like a hot chocolate and a cold drink for like so hot chocolate can be quite intense.
Cool
so
the
you need
tongue.
like water. Yeah. So
yes.
What do you guys think about the multiple drinks? Maybe you've never heard anyone talk about having multiple drinks on the go, but
I'm not a multiple drinker.
Okay.
I
just feel like you're not really a drinker, full stop.
Yeah, I'm a rarity drinker, which is actually, do you know what, in the last week really been brought to my attention. And I would say for the past 5 days have consumed 2 litres of water a day.
Well done.
2 of my big green bottle.
I'm not good at drinking water because I'm going to be honest, guys, I don't like water. I don't like the taste of it.
Does it have a taste?
I just don't like drinking water.
Okay, so it's not you. I think you're saying you don't like the lack of taste.
Yeah.
Like because you like some flavour to your drink. You're such a squash drinker.
Oh yeah, but that's how I was raised. And this is
the
what
sugar though, man.
You can get sugar-free squash, mate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I wasn't raised on the sugar-free squash, and maybe this is answering the questions as to why I've got so many fillings. Because I genuinely. I remember at my primary school, they changed the rules where you couldn't bring like squash in your bottle. No. You had to bring water.
Oh,
and
healthy school.
And I was like, so I guess I'm not drinking for the whole day then. I really don't like drinking water.
No, but you also do, unless in that bottles it's all in your bottle. It's always
squash. There is squash.
Oh, for goodness sake!
I like water if I'm drinking it through a straw in a bottle.
Oh my gosh!
I just hate drinking a cup of water.
Yeah,
that's so dead. And also, I quite like the combination of flavors of like a meal, but then with like a nice drink, like a flavored, like either a fizzy drink or a squash or. Anyway, so
okay. Well, brilliant. Should we jump in then? Thank you so for, as always, providing the brilliant
that's just what I'm here for.
Podcast content. Let us know, guys. We'd love to hear from you about these issues.
Great. Just getting the notes up. Here we go. Right. Do you want to intro us in, Rach?
Yes, guys. Today we are talking all things 20s. Feel like we've not done that in a while.
We haven't.
Specifically.
We haven't.
And we just thought, you know what? We're the ripe ages of 26 right now. And we could maybe talk about some things we've learnt in our 20s so far. We should also do this when we turn 30.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Should we still be going?
Yes.
Okay.
No shadow of a doubt, mate.
10 years time, we'll get the follow-up episode.
10 years time.
As in, like, well, the whole thing is that it's things that we've learned. So I don't think that when we're 30, we'll have learned.
No,
much
but
by
I mean,
being
like,
in-
as a 30-year-old,
Okay,
something
yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well,
this
we could do one
episode
every year. Every time we
hit a new age.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this episode's going to be about 5 things that we have learned in our 20s.
Yeah, and I'm gonna right now on the spot give it that it's not just you title of, it's not just you. Oh, sorry, a burp nearly came out there.
Oh,
it's not just you that's learning new things in their 20s.
Yes, aren't we all?
We're all learning.
Probably at any age you're learning, to be fair.
Yeah,
But the
we
20s feel like a particularly stretching time.
Yeah, I think they're a time of discovery and just eyes being opened to the world. You go from, I think, being quite, well, I'd say for me personally, quite sheltered in your early 20s.
Yes.
To, eyes are being opened to life as an adult.
Shall I, just to kind of whet people's appetites, just read out the 5 that we're going to be covering?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so here are 5 things that we have learnt in our 20s. Number 1, doing something is better than doing nothing. Number 2, talk to people, not about people. Number 3, the only thing that's consistent in life is change. Ooh. Number 4, don't let fear make decisions for you. And number 5, a wholesome one to end. Every day is an opportunity to love someone.
Come on, right.
Wow.
Let's jump in.
Guys, we were quite proud of those titles, so
Yes.
please just, appreciate them.
Big us up. Okay, first one. Doing something is better than doing nothing. So at the start of this year, I made a little notes page on my phone with just some, they weren't even goals, they weren't New Year's resolutions, they were just things I want to carry into the new year. And at the very, very top of the list was this quote, doing something is better than doing nothing. Because I'm a very all or nothing person. And I can sometimes just get in my head like, a version of how I want something to go. So for me, I'll give the example of, a good example is exercise. You want to do, let's say, gym sesh that is an hour and a half. You've got all these exercises, you've got a plan, you've got a routine. Sometimes you don't have an hour and a half. And so for me, in my brain, I'm then going, so there's no point in exercising at all.
Yeah, there's
because
no point
I
going.
can't do the full version of what I wanted to do. And so therefore, I will then just completely sack it off and do nothing. And at the start of this year, I was like, surely there's a middle ground. Surely there's a middle ground. And I think in life, it's probably very, very rare that you are going to find time and a moment to do the things that you want to do in the fullest way that you want to do them. And so I just think that actually, if you can do a bit, it's like chipping away, or it's still bringing that sense of achievement. But I did it rather than not doing it at all.
Yeah.
So that's something that I've been learning.
Yeah, I think again in your 20s, there's sometimes a lot of pressure or preconceived ideas of like, it's where you go after your goals. You've got the big dreams, you're in the productive workspace. So it's like, it's very easy for that to-do list to pile up. And then where you're not able to like tick everything off in the time that you wanted it to be done, you end up just feeling quite like discouraged, unsatisfied. But so, like you said, had this kind of revelation at the start of the year. And I too have actually found that so helpful, particularly with things like the gym, because sometimes I just end up going for like 25 minutes and I'm like, what was the point in that? But you're like, well, it was better than not going. So like,
amen, sister.
It's useful. But I also just think for me as well, in general day-to-day life, like let's take work, you could have like, and actually my manager said this to me the other day, shout out Dino, because it was great. It's like, you can come in like, I've got 5 massive tasks to do. You get to the end of the day, you've not done them and you just don't feel good. Whereas like changing your mindset to be like, okay, well doing one is better than not doing any of them. So like you come away feeling more positive when you have that perspective and that outlook on life, because you're like, okay, I didn't maybe manage to do the massive, probably unrealistic expectations that I set myself, but I did something. So
Come on.
I just think it's really helpful in terms of like a positive way to do life. Just like,
Yeah.
I could have done nothing. And I think there are limits. Like, you know, it's like you take it to the other extreme of just like, oh, I did like the bare minimum, like sick, well done me. Like, but like,
for sure.
I think that's great. That's
But I think
helped me.
particularly if you're like me and you're wired to be quite all or nothing,
Yeah.
it's a really helpful reminder of, no, doing a bit of it is fine.
Yeah.
Like that's okay.
Yeah.
And it doesn't need to be that, yes,
You finish it.
in one go, I've done the whole thing, or I've done it in exactly the full way that I wanted to do it. It's like, do you know what? I did it to some extent and that's fine. Or like, I don't know, let's say you start going on a run and then you just find yourself walking. Well, at least you've got out and moved your body. Like, do you know what I mean? Rather than, oh, I'm feeling tired, so I just won't even try.
Yeah, legit.
So that's number one on that.
That's number one, guys. And then number two was talk to people, not about people. And I feel like, again, thinking in reference to the fact this is about being in your 20s, I think probably in school, you've not necessarily like hit that point of, I know for me, like maturity or just like bigger perspective on life where you realize that actually like talking about people isn't productive. Like I feel like it's quite a like, as you're growing up, I know for me that was a big thing. But I think as you get older and you have greater perspective, you realize like actually like when you have something to say to someone, whether it's positive or negative, saying it to them is so much more productive than saying it to every Tom, Dick and Harry and not the person themselves.
Yeah. So I guess that's kind of on the negative side of, you know, where you've maybe there's some tension or there's a problem or there's something that you're not enjoying about a person and you're just, like you say, talking about them behind their back to other people. How are they ever going to know that there's something that is irritating you about them or about a situation that they're involved in? They're not. But then we were talking as well this afternoon, weren't we, about the flip of that?
Yeah.
The encouraging things that we speak about, where you're talking with your friends. Oh, do you know what? I actually just love so-and-so. And they're not necessarily in the room or with you in that moment. But, I know I've had times, we had a moment in the car the other day where we were just really raving about a person. Like, oh, aren't they amazing? They do this so well and they make people feel so welcome and all these different things. And again, this was actually in my 2025 note of, even if it's encouragements, to try your best to share those, whether it's a text, a phone call, a voice note, or even if you can face to face, just like actually speaking these words of life over the person. Because I think so often you can just think that when people are talking about you, it's only negative.
No, yeah. Yeah, and also I think we've all been on like the receiving end of like, or hopefully, like out of nowhere. I think it always hits as well when it's someone as well that you don't really know or you didn't really think that they would ever think that about you. And out of nowhere, like it could be like a colleague at work or someone like, and it's just like, oh, I just wanted to say like really love that, like that you did that, or like, and you're like, wow, that's like really like, I've got a pep in my step. Do you know what I mean? Like that's built me up, mate. So
I think it also slightly for me when I've had it where I think specifically when someone's gone, oh, me and so-and-so, or me and my group of friends were saying the other day, we just think you're great. Actually, it kind of restores your faith in humanity. Yeah. Wow, there was like a group of girls talking about me and it wasn't to bitch about me. Like it wasn't in a gossipy way. It was actually in kindness. And again, I think it just helps build people up, encourages them. And again, that whole kind of restoring faith in, I thought when people spoke about you behind their back, it was only behind your back, it's only negative. Yeah.
And I would say as well, like we are still very much learning to do this in life in terms of like
I'm trying to get way better at
the temptation the whole time is to like something comes into your mind and you say it to your mate about someone else, but it's like I think what we're saying is like genuinely the productivity thing of like it's just good to go to the source,
go to the source.
So
yes,
like guys that. Right, number 3, hit us.
Oosh. Okay, so next one, the only thing that's consistent in life is change.
Hate to break it to you.
Yeah.
Although some people love it, so fair.
I know. But I mean, I think we've mentioned this before on the podcast, but it's only taken me till now, and I still don't think I'm fully there. And I don't know if you'll ever be there fully, but I genuinely probably, when I was 22, 3, 4, thought that life worked where you maybe had a season of change, a bit of a peak of, oh, people are moving away, or, oh, this, I'm starting a new job, or, oh, whatever the change is. And then it subsides. Everything's consistent for like 10 years. Oh, change. Okay. Oh, there's a bit of change. Okay, now we're back down and everything's normal again. That just categorically is not how life works.
No.
Like, genuinely, it's just a train that you have to jump on.
Yeah.
And that's what you're riding the whole of life.
I genuinely as well, like, feel like this was quite a recent revelation, because I remember I was on a walk with my friend Michael, and I was saying to him, like, yeah, it just feels like there's a lot of change at the moment. And he was literally like he's a bit older than me, and he was like, yeah, like,
sorry, when did it stop?
That's just life. Like, as in, like, even for him, it's like, yeah, it's just constant change. And when you actually think about it, you're like, yeah, because if something, even if it's not changing your life, it will be changing. There'll be change going on in someone's life that you're super close to. So
and that's it. It's like, that's what I was literally just about to say. It's like, if it's not your change, it's someone else's change that still has an impact and effect on you. And so, that's it. I think I know I've had seasons of life where I've really almost been trying to fight change.
Yeah.
And let me tell you guys, it doesn't work. You just end up feeling, for me, it's actually, you just end up feeling panicked, but almost kind of like you're living in this state of constant like mourning.
Yeah.
Like, oh, but like when things were like this, it was way better. Oh, these were the glory days. Oh, this was how it used to be. And I wanted to just go back to that. Well, it's not.
Yeah.
It's like, and that's okay. I don't think that's wrong at all. Like to some, like, I think particularly when big change happens, you do need those moments to process that and maybe, a bit of grieving over a particular season of your life. But I actually think, I know I've just stayed in that place for way too long, and I've actually not moved on with where things are and where times have changed.
Yeah.
And then you're just not, it sounds proper cheesy and cliche, but you're kind of not living in the moment of, well, this is my life now.
Yeah.
And it's not going to go back to what it was. Like, it's actually just not. So,
and it's like okay to feel all still the weight of the change, process the like sadness, like if you find it sad. Like I say, I'm very aware some people love change, but I'd say for me personally, I don't love change. Like, it takes me quite a long time to process. But I think it's just knowing like, okay, that's okay, that's sad. Like you said, have that period almost of like mourning, and then being like, this is life. Because I think before you realize like this is life, like you say, you just get really trapped in the just downness of like, oh, I just wish it could stay the same. And you almost have to pull yourself out and be like, it's not going to stay the same. And like, I know even for me recently, like a big change happening for me is moving out of living with my brother. And we've been living together for like 3 years now, I think.
Yeah.
And genuinely, like, as we were both kind of realizing that was going to happen, and we both need to move to different places for different reasons, it was such a like sad time. And like, I couldn't really talk about it without getting emotional. Whereas like now, like, I can. And I kind of had to like journey through those emotions, cry the tears, have the conversations, to then get to a place where it's like, okay, like, this is a good thing and I can move forward with this. And I understand that I was never going to live with him forever, and these are changes that have to happen. So it's like, I don't think like, it's not a thing of like, ignore the change, ignore the emotions, just get on with it. It's like, no, feel all the emotions, but just in the wider framework of like, this is life.
Yeah. And I think part of it with this, even this particular, I guess, phrasing or this quote of the only thing that's consistent in life is changes. I know I've been in seasons of big change, and then almost you have this hope or this thought of, okay, but like, if I just get through the next month or so, then everything will kind of settle down and subside. And then more change comes. And it, again, when you don't almost live in that state of knowing life is full of change, it just feels like a punch to the face when another changing thing happens and another moving part is moving. And so I think it's not like, and I guess, like, there are ebbs and flows of change, but I think what we're saying is it is fairly consistent, whether it's smaller, more minute things or things that are happening to friends around you, or if it's bigger things that feel like they're really having an impact on you. It's like, yeah, I think my learning has been, don't expect there to not be change.
Yeah.
Because then it doesn't feel like such a punch in the face when another change comes, because you're like, oh, I kind of expected this.
Yeah. And I've just found this, just to wrap up this point. One of my friends sent me this quote in amidst all the change, and he said, the quote is, life is found in the letting go, which I actually think is so beautiful. He's basically saying, like, as we let go of things that have been beautiful, we gain so much more in different ways. And I was like, it's kind of the same thing as what we're saying. Like, life is actually found in the letting go, because it's like, life is full of letting go. So it's like, it's just part of life, guys.
Yes.
So yeah.
Gosh, really dug into that one.
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
Then number 4, don't let fear make decisions for you. And you can insert into this sentence anything that most applies to you. It might not be fear that stops you taking new opportunities. It could be tiredness or laziness or lack of time. But what we're getting at with this point is, don't let things like that stop you from saying yes to new things, from stepping into new opportunities, from doing the things that feel uncomfortable, basically, whilst you're in your 20s.
Yeah. I had kind of a recent moment of, or I guess, yeah, this kind of quote applied to me at some point over the summer, where I would say again, yeah, it wasn't necessarily fear, but I would say it was either a combination of tiredness and, well, the excuse on my end being I don't have enough time to do something. And realistically, I did. And it was like, oh, yeah, you know, I've been given this opportunity, but I don't have time to do it. And it was like, no, you do. Or like you start to lay out, okay, well, I wouldn't have time. And then you think, well, you know, I'm looking at my calendar. Yes, it will be costly, and there will be...
It was speaking at an event.
Yeah. And so it's like, you know, I might have to work in the evenings and on weekends to like pull together this talk and to, you know, do it. And it was a bit last minute, and you're like, yeah, no, to be fair, I do have time. And then it's like, oh, but, you know, I'm really busy this summer, and it will just make me feel a bit, I'll be tired if I do this. And it's like, yeah, you might be a bit tired. Like, are you going to die? No. Like, and obviously, you know, you don't want to work yourself into the ground to the point where you're burning out. But that wasn't going to be the case.
No.
And so I feel like it took a few people being like, no, I think it'll be fine. So to be like, oh, yeah, you're right.
And also pointing out the good that could come out of it, rather than, because what would you say was like waiting on the other side of saying yes to that?
As in what were like the good things to come out of it? Well, I think it's just a new experience. Yeah. And I guess almost when you're doing something that you've never done before, it's almost like it's the whole thing of your comfort zone expanding. I've done something that's been a little bit out of my comfort zone. So now my comfort zone is like, that almost feels like now within my comfort zone, because I can say, oh yeah, but I've already spoken to X amount of people before. So like, if it then increases, you can go, yeah, that's a little bit more outside, but I know I've done it to this. Do you know what I mean? Yes. So it helps you grow and step outside of your comfort zone, and also just, putting yourself out there and learning new skills, developing new skills, growing in new parts of yourself, which like exercising parts of yourself that you wouldn't normally kind of muscles and not actual muscles, but do you know what I mean? Like skills that you wouldn't exercise on the regular basis, for me anyway, in this particular example. Yeah.
Even for us, you know, like pursuing our podcast and dreams, like it's like there are often opportunities that come up where you're like, oh, that's just not inconvenient. We've just done X, Y, and Z. I don't want to do that.
Sorry. You said it's not inconvenient.
Yes, yeah.
Not convenient.
And it's basically just a choice of like, well, do we want this enough? Or I don't know, for you in your workplace, do you want that enough? Or do you want this enough? Or do you want to, I don't know, even like invest in that friendship enough that it's then like, I am going to inconvenience myself and like say yes to doing something I don't really want to do because I can see a bigger picture. And I think basically what we're saying is the 20s are a great time for that.
Yeah. And I think the reality of it being this straight, smooth, road towards, oh my gosh, all these doors are opening, and it's, you know, stuff's always coming up on a weekend when I'm free, and it's like nearby. And and I've got loads of time in my week to prepare for it. Oh, like that's just not going to be the case. And like you say, it's sometimes, again, I think sometimes I know I'm just a bit soft, and I'm like, no, I don't really want to. And it's like, great, then I won't do it. And it's like, that's, so you're not like pushing yourself there, are you? And you're not like, again, it's the whole comfort zone thing of like growing, stepping outside of your comfort zone, increasing your capacity, just because it's like, no, I don't really feel like it.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I think it'd be good to do it.
Yeah.
So that's number 4. Number 5.
And then number 5, the final one. Do you want to take it away?
I'll do it, yeah. Every day is an opportunity to love someone.
What was that?
You can love someone.
Guys, every day is an opportunity.
Do you want to expand on what we're getting at with this point?
I think basically a realization for Soph and I has been that genuinely one of the most important things in life is how you make people feel. And that's ultimately a large part of probably what you're going to be remembered for, what people are going to associate with you, and ultimately just a huge way that you come across as a person. And therefore, like, the ways that you go out of your way when you meet new people, or where you're with your friends, or where you're with your family, to like extend kindness is actually just so important. And I think the reason we've put this in here is because recently we've just been talking about it specifically in the sense of meeting new people, and like meeting lots of new people, and just being so struck by people that are so incredible at making someone feel welcome or making someone feel seen. Like, you know, that kind of social scenario where you're getting introduced to someone and there's a couple of people in a group, and it is so noticeable when someone goes out of their way to like look you in the eye, even if like you're not directly the one that's like, I don't know, the center of the conversation, and introduce themselves and make you feel like seen and ask you about your life.
For sure.
It is like so powerful and so just important. And I think as you get older, you realize like really the way that you can like connect with people, and like, I don't know, like the way that even just things come about is through like the way that you treat people.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes when you're younger, that's just not so much of like a present thought in your mind. Like you're just a bit like, like, you know, like these are my friends, like, so I don't need to talk to them, and like, cool. Like, whereas like, I think as you get older, you're just a bit like, oh, actually, it's really important.
Yeah. And I think the reality is, like you say, I know for me when I was younger, I just wouldn't think about something like this. I wouldn't go into a social environment, whether it be with people I know or people I don't know, and necessarily go in with the intention of, okay, how can I make the people that are here feel seen and loved? And the reality is I think there's maybe a handful of people that do it super well, almost just default, but I would say that's because they've probably spent years of being intentional in doing that and exercising that skill of essentially making people feel loved. And I think if you're not intentional, like, I know if I don't kind of intentionally think about that before I walk into a space or into an interaction with someone, then like you probably end up just going into it like either just thinking about yourself, or like, what can I gain out of this, or how can I hang out with the most popular person in the room, or whatever the thoughts are. I don't know, but I just think it has to be an intentional choice. Yeah. And if it's not, it's probably gonna slip, and that's fine. And again, I'm on a massive journey of like learning this, and almost has only become like a recent revelation of it's so important, but it's something that has to be so intentional. Yeah.
And I'd also say, like, obviously we're talking about one area there of like loving someone, which is like meeting new people, making people feel welcome. But just in general with like your friends and family, it's like every day is an opportunity to show someone love and like be a nice person.
Exactly.
But it does, like Soph says, like in whatever context, I'm not gonna lie, your default is probably not all the time to be like, oh, I want to like love this person really well. So it's like you've got to be like thinking, you know, how do I want to be? But I
But
think.
also again, it's again like, you know, the reality is you're probably going to go into stuff like this and it's like, oh, I'm tired. Oh, you know, I've had a long day. I don't feel up to it. And to be fair, like I've, you know, sometimes you just have days where you're like, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't bring my best self. That's fine. But I think for us, it's like going on a trajectory towards how can I grow in that? How can I become one of those people that when, you know, I step into a space, I make people feel welcome and I engage them and I, you know, make them feel seen and valued in a space, because I think more often than not, people can feel quite intimidated or, just like, you know, can find a lot of different social interactions hard. And so I think the more that we can help ease that and make it slightly more, you know, it's just going over the top.
Yeah.
That's always a good thing.
Yes. Okay, guys, let us know what you've learned in your 20s. Feel like
learning.
Everyone's going to have so many different reflections, but these were just some of ours.
Yeah. We'll leave it there.
Yeah.
Great. We're going to wrap up, guys. But we'll probably do some engagement stuff on socials.
Yeah.
Asking you guys, what have you learned? What are you learning? What are you trying to grow in? So look out for that. Follow us on It's Not Just You Podcast on Instagram, TikTok and YouTube. And we'll see you in the next episode.
Okay. Bye guys.